Strategy, a term often used but seldom clearly understood, plays a pivotal role in shaping the path of individuals, organizations, and even nations. It's a concept that sparks curiosity, prompting questions like, what is the essence of strategy? How does one distinguish between good and bad strategy? What elements should a well-crafted strategy encompass? Richard Rumelt, a distinguished professor at the UCLA Anderson School of Management, answers these questions and more in his work, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy: The Difference and Why It Matters. This video explores the core principles and valuable insights from Rumelt's book, shedding the light on the art and science of crafting effective strategies. The kernel of strategy. At the heart of any successful strategy lies a three-part kernel: diagnosis, guiding policy, and coherent action. Let's start with the first one, diagnosis. Good strategy starts by identifying the challenge or obstacle to be overcome. A clear diagnosis simplifies complex situations, making them more manageable. Metaphors, analogies, or established frameworks are often employed to distill the essence of the challenge. Second, we have guiding policy. Once the challenge is diagnosed, a guiding policy is formulated. This policy outlines the overarching approach to tackle the identified obstacles without specifying the exact actions to be taken. Finally, we have coherent action. Effective strategies are characterized by a set of coherent actions. These actions should harmonize with one another, pooling resources and efforts towards a common goal. The key is coordination, avoiding conflicts or independence between actions. Good strategy versus bad strategy. Distinguishing between good and bad strategy is pivotal for achieving meaningful progress. So what is a good strategy? A good strategy is marked by its simplicity and clarity. It identifies the core challenge, presents a guiding policy, and outlines actionable steps to overcome obstacles. It is designed to be coherent, focusing and coordinating efforts effectively. Saying no to certain goals and initiatives is crucial to maintain the strategy's coherence. So what is a bad strategy? A bad strategy, on the other hand, lacks clarity and actionable steps. It often mistakes goals, ambitions, visions, or values for strategy. It may consist of a list of disconnected priorities or conflicting objectives that undermine each other. Identifying bad strategy. Recognizing bad strategy is essential for steering clear of pitfalls. We have 4 major hallmarks of bad strategy. Number 1 is fluff. Bad strategy often employs obscure language, masking the absence of strategic substance. It relies on inflated terminology to create the illusion of strategic thinking. 2. Failure to face the challenge. When a strategy fails to define the challenge it aims to overcome, it becomes impossible to evaluate and improve. Identifying and addressing the real problem is the first step towards crafting an effective strategy. 3. Mistaking goals for strategy. Goals alone do not constitute a strategy. Strategy involves outlining a path to reach those goals, which requires a diagnosis and a guiding policy. 4. Bad strategic objectives. Strategic objectives should be means to overcome obstacles. When they fail to address critical issues or are impractical, they become bad strategy. Now let's look at some forms of bad strategy. For example, dog's dinner objectives. Compiling a long list of disconnected objectives without a clear guiding policy leads to a lack of focus and wasted resources. And that's called dog's dinner objectives. Also, we have blue sky objectives. Vague statements of desired outcomes without a clear plan on how to achieve them are ineffective and unrealistic. We have also the unwillingness or inability to choose. A strategy that garners universal approval often indicates a leader's reluctance to make tough choices. A sound strategy involves prioritization and resource allocation. Also, we have template-styled strategic planning. Using predefined templates to formulate strategy often results in superficial and ineffective strategies. Finally, we have new thought. Neglecting to consider negative outcomes and potential challenges leads to unrealistic strategies. Sources of power. Effective strategies leverage various sources of power to overcome obstacles. Rumelt identifies 7 sources providing strategic advantages. First, leverage. Identifying imbalances in a situation and exploiting them for disproportionate gains. In resource-constrained scenarios, using limited resources to achieve significant results is key. Second is proximate objectives. Choosing objectives that are within reach, focusing efforts on solvable sub-problems to reach ambitious goals. 3. Chain link systems. Recognizing that the performance of a system is limited by its weakest link, and either strengthening the entire chain or creating an advantage through interconnectedness. 4. Design. Creating a strategy that is well designed and coherent, aligning various components to work seamlessly together. 5. Focus. Concentrating efforts on a specific market segment by delivering superior value, which involves coordination and overlapping effects within the organization. 6. Growth. Understanding that growth is the result of successful innovation, efficiency, and creativity, not a strategy in itself. Sustainable growth requires an isolating mechanism. 7. Using advantage. Identifying and exploiting differences or advantages over competitors, strengthening them over time. In summary, Rumelt's insights emphasize the intersection of strategy and design. Strategy work shares commonalities with design in terms of diagnosing problems, generating solutions, considering perspectives, and iterating on ideas. Both require a level of intuition and subjectivity, acknowledging that there is often no definitive right answer. Strategies, like designs, are hypotheses that can be tested and refined over time. That is the summary of Good Strategy, Bad Strategy by Rumelt, and I'll see you in the next book summary.